So here's a bad news discovery. The front section of the plow has worn away. This end is frozen solid. So I'm going to get the torch and we're going to warm that up. Good morning, welcome back to Rolling Hills Farm Dave here. It's a mild winter morning and time for us to begin our winter shop projects. Up first, the F-145 John Deere plow. The number 2 plowshare broken off right at the end of plowing this last fall. The number 2 coulter axle snapped off right there. Brand new axle, and took that coulter right off. We need to get to the bottom for why that plow didn't kick up when we hit whatever broke the point of that plowshare. There's a little tab at the back right here that you can manually activate. And if you push it down, it opens the spring and the plow should drop, just as if it's hit a big rock. Well, that's good news. It trips very easily. So I was afraid I was going to have to disassemble all this and look for worn parts, but man, that worked really easy. There. So here's a bad news discovery. With the share off, look at this. The front section, it should square off right here. And so it's not giving sufficient support to that plowshare. And that, in my mind, different than all the other ones, is the reason that this plowshare has broken. So the old plowshare has the perfect hole. I just need to cut that out of there and fabricate a piece of metal that's the right size. So it takes a lot of trial and error and a hot piece of metal, but you have to just keep fitting it. All right, here's my shaped piece now. I'll need to clamp this into place. All right, the acid test. How does it fit on there? Replacement share. There, you can see the finished metal. A little bit warm on the fingers, but giving adequate support to that bolt. And then the other bolt's right there. All right, there we go. The damaged share replaced and the worn shin replaced. Now, so I've got to get this axle out and we're going to need to weld that. I've actually got video of that axle breaking when the coulter wheel wobbles a little bit and then goes right underneath the dead furrow. You can see how this broke. I'm going to need to grind that down and weld that. You can see my newly welded, and I just spray painted a little John Deere green on there. My newly welded coulter axle is in place and the coulter is in place. And I've got it rough set riding just outside the land side and up a couple of fingers from the share. And I've replaced this coulter with a taller 17-inch wheel that replaces the 15 that was there. So the next problem is a major leak in the hydraulic cylinder that raises the tail wheel, as well as 2 worn out hydraulic lines. They need to be replaced. You can see I had to heat up this end and push down that little button to get the pin out. And this end's frozen. You have to push in that little button to get this pin out. So I'm going to get the torch and we're going to warm that up. There we go. It's awfully hot, so we're just going to let that cool. Okay, the hydraulic cylinder is on the bench. That was kind of hard to get off after I heated it up. And you'll see I've got these pins loosened. There's one on each end. And as I activate this, you'll see I'm moving a little pin, a little roller in there, back and forth out of the way. And that allows this pin to go down in there and be set. And that roller fits in there and locks the pin in place. It's a fancy John Deere option that is just inviting rust, which is the problem I have. But I've used enough penetrant on these that I think I can make them work to reinstall. So the leak is at the base of this hydraulic cylinder, and I need to take these big bolts off and look inside and see what kind of a seal problem I've got. And let's see if I can break these loose. That wasn't bad. All right, there's what it looks like on the bottom, and there's the remains of a gasket. It was rotted right through right there. All right, you can see I've taken my gasket paper, cut a gasket to fit. I've got timing marks lined up here. So let's see if we can get that back on there. There, with the pins in place now, they lock in place by pushing. Oh, it still works hard. I just use a punch in that hole. There. And you'll see that thumb screw, which doesn't work with my thumb, pops back out. And that locks the connector pin in place. Same thing back here. The installation of new hydraulic lines means the hydraulics on the plow are complete. So with the hydraulic cylinder done, I want to get in this, I need to take the tail wheel off because I want to do a better inspection of the mechanical parts back here and look for wear. No play at all. That's really solid. And I was a little concerned about this gusset right here. You know, clearly that had been broken at some point, but it looks like it was reassembled properly. Somebody did a good job. So I would call this tail wheel nice and solid, the whole tail wheel assembly. But that takes care of, we'll take care of the mechanical rebuild of this plow. It's ready to go in the ground now, but we're not done yet. Up next is the more cosmetic part of the build. We've got paint here, John Deere green, and I'm going to order decals, the period correct decals, and we're going to get this painted up to operational quality, new quality. And the reason for that is simply that this plow sits outside and, well, it's just going to rust if I don't get some paint on it. So that's the reason for all of this, is to keep this tool operational for years to come. Thanks for watching. We're going to get those decals on order, and we'll be back when it comes time to, well, make this more of a show plow. See you then. There. Once the bolts are done, I can use the roller to lay on a coat of paint that's just a little smoother than the brush puts on. And it won't cover over all the brush strokes, but it'll just give a little more even appearance.